melody. One, two. Hold on to the thread. The currents will share. Guide me towards you. No, something's left, and we're all allowed to dream of the next. Oh, come on now. Oh, the next time we waves roll in my thoughts. Hold tight the ring. Yeah, those sea will rise. Please stand by the shore. Have you seen the way that tree bends? Does it inspire? Leaning out to catch the sun's rays, or listen to be applied. All we get is something out of this old encompassing trend. You can keep your time alone, redigesting past regrets. Or you can come to terms and realize you're the only one who cannot forgive yourself. Makes much more sense to live. Have you an idea on how this life ends? Oh, check your left hand and study your lines. Have you the belief that the road ahead sends off into some white line. It seems from most I see it's getting harder to find an approach and a way to live. Are we getting something out of this? Oh, big fucking trouble. You can spend your time alone, redigesting past regret. Oh, you can come to terms and feel like you're the only one who cannot forgive yourself. Oh, oh. I see some lights on the people. How's it feeling? I see some fellas on shore leave. Good evening, gentlemen. Well, this is, hey, everybody. You know, I should say the last time we played was maybe December, and it was down in Australia, and we had quite a great time. The crowds were all really incredible, but it was also like 50, 60,000 people. So as good as that was, this feels really good, and we were invited by some very, very special people to come here tonight and on Saturday. So we'll talk more about them later. But right now, I just, on behalf of all the band, because even that seat looks like a pretty good seat. And makes us feel good. Feel lucky. I feel lucky in a casino. That's dangerous. This song's called Deep. Says well to the street below. He just ain't nothing, but he's got a great view. And he's facing your feet. Yeah, can't touch the bottom into deep. Oh, can't touch the bottom. Oh, yes. Superior, the aged calm to the sky above. He just ain't nothing, but he's got a great view. And he sees the burning night's deep. Yeah, can't touch the bottom into deep. Yeah, oh, can't touch the bottom, can't touch the bottom. Christmas clean love, your virgin from heaven, off his hidden hair to the man above her. She just ain't nothing, and she doesn't like the view. She doesn't like the view. She doesn't like the view. Oh, Cheers. This is to our friends from Cocoa Beach, whoever you are out there. Good memories, Driftwood. Which side do the waves break on? The Atlantic side, yes? Gulf of Mexico. What used to be your house of cards has turned into a reservoir. Save the tears that were waterfalling. Let's go swim tonight, darling. Once outside the undertow, just you and me and nothing more. If not for love, I would be drowning. I've seen it work both ways, but I riding high amongst the waves. I can feel like I have a soul that has been saved. I can see the light coming through the clouds and rays. I gotta sing now, better loud than too late. Remember back when the early days when you were young and thus amazed. Suddenly the channel changed the first time you saw blood. Cut to later, now you're strong. You've bled yourself, the wounds are gone. It's well when there's nothing wrong. Survived and you're amongst the greatest. Loving love until you give it up. Right amongst the waves, I can feel like I have a soul that has been saved. I can see the light coming through the clouds and rays. I gotta say it now, better loud than too late. It's been 10 years since we've been here, 9 years almost exactly. We've recorded a few songs in the meantime. Here's a couple. This one's called React. Respawn. I see you in hurry. I zip it this in the Thank you, Mr. Jeff Amon here on the bass guitar. Dark matter. To the left of my eyes, drain the blood from my heart, and all it is, dark matter. Take the breath from my chest, break the thoughts in our mind. We're losing time, dark matter. Denounce the demigods, king diamond to discard. Deploy the dialogue, your word against the law. It's strange these days when everybody else pays. But someone else's mistake, this rain takes shade. Still everybody else pays. But someone else's mistake. Eroding away, while you're pulling apart. In all of this dark matter, I once heard it said, and it's stuck in my head. Arrested the press, no one knows what happened next. Denounce the demigods, king diamond to discard. To deploy the dialogue, your word against the law. It's strange these days when everybody else pays. But someone else's mistake, this rain takes shade. Still everybody else pays. But someone else's mistake. No tolerance for intolerance store. No patience left for impatience no more. You know what I've lost for? Lost love. No sorrow for the unaccountable. Strange these days when everybody else pays. But someone else's takes shade. Still everybody else pays. But someone else's mistake. Thank you for listening. Thank you for joining in. Everybody good? Us too. Visited my door another darkened day. How you were like the sun hiding somewhere beyond the rain, needing for the light. So is the gray rivers overflowing, drowning all our yesterdays. Visited by thoughts and another darkened week. How even every winter hits a losing streak. The mistakes we all made and perfectly repeat. Hey, thank you. And, you know, is there anybody here tonight that has not seen our group play live before? All right, there's a few of you. I like that because I get to, everybody else knows them already, but you special people, I get to introduce you. On this side of the stage, Mr. Mike McCready. Mr. Mike McCready, those are the... And let's see, we've known each other for how long? 34, 35 years, he says. I'm not gonna argue with that.
I'm not that good with the math.
He's not that good with math. You don't have to be. Just every once in a while, count your money. Before you bet it all at the Hard Rock Casino live here in Hollywood, run by the Seminole Nation. Well, one thing I do know after 34, 35 years is after not playing since December, I can tell you something about our friend Mike McCready right now. He is so fucking itching to play right now, you wouldn't fucking believe. All right, Mike McCready, have at it. His head on a pillow made of concrete. I'm getting, oh, feeling. Maybe you'll see a little better Saturdays. Oh, hand down, feet again, Mr. Michael McCree. This next song is the one that Mike and I wrote a number of years ago. It's called Down. Okay, hold on one sec. Sorry, just 1 second. Can we get a light right about here? It's all good. There were people on the case. Nice job. All right, she's good. We'll save a spot for her. All right, that's how we do it. That's good. Safety first. I like it. Thank you. Nice job. All right, this song is called Down. One more. Hey! Down, fall by the wayside, no getting out. Roll down, cry me a river, try to bend damn poor names can be changed, but the place changed. Absolute. My picture, spill my tincture. I don't wanna do it again. I got an initial brand. All the things that others want for me. Can't buy what I want because it's free. Can't buy what I want because it's peace. Can't be nothing wrong because it's supposed to be just fun. Never to be tried, not be a judge. Feel the love be damned. While the long life I begin. Hey, Chris. Come on. Let's get this real bouncing. Get bouncing. Hey, I'd like to make a toast. I'd like to make a toast. We've been playing music with this guy for decades and decades. And every night we've had the great fortune of sharing the stage with him. He's been absolutely magnificent. Each and every gig, not a one missing. I just want to raise a toast to the great, great Matt Cameron. Come on now, even now. And you know, as I mentioned before, we were invited here by some very, very special group of people. And they asked us for years, this is their place, this is their land. I'm talking about our friends, the Seminole tribe of Florida. And it's through their perseverance that we are fortunate enough to come here. And on top of that, before the show, they honored us as a band for our continued work with the indigenous peoples all throughout our country. But I will say, all the work that we were commended for was actually done by one man, and that's our very own Jeff Ament. In the last 25, 30 years, he's been overseeing and funding and building skate parks on reservations all throughout the land. I asked him tonight how many he was up to. He was guessing 42. 42 skate parks. And then a few years ago, this is something that always struck me hard, having, us all having played with them for the last 35 years. They had a ceremony at the end of christening one of the parks. Maybe it was in Montana. And they christened it and also gave JF the name Holds Water. It's very, very powerful. And I tell you, it's very true. 35 years of being in a band with him, and there's never been a leak. He certainly holds water. Jeff Ament, we toast you. And he wrote this song, it's called Won't Tell. Sympathize, amazing, so uncompromised, floated in. As she pulled the book up off the shelf, the dressing gown and nothing else but a secret grin. Oh, now it's one question, yeah. Free of all suggestion, do I say or give it? Find me here, waiting for your message to come. Can you feel the change in my heart? Waiting for a message to come. Can you feel the change in my heart? In my heart. On the shelf, open to the page, I guess. Could that be the woman? As she smiled and played a minor chord in a key I'd never heard before. One song and it was done. You can find me here, waiting for your message to come. Can you feel the change in my heart? Waiting for a Hey, can we, well, I don't need to ask permission, but can we play one that we don't normally play? This one's for anyone who's ever spent overnight, like camping when you don't want to be camping in the Everglades. Leatherman died a long time ago in the 1880s. Leatherman, covered up leather, but it wouldn't die. Underneath the moon, it was at night. Making me run 10 miles a day. Once a month I follow me, what they say. Here he comes, he's the man on the land. Leatherman's flat on his face, maxing me back. He's Leatherman. Comes out of the caves once a day to be fed. He wasn't known to say much, but thanks for the bread. So night and day I walk around with my jacket fading, just like the man on leather whom I may be related. Oh, sugar, that's for a lie. Appeared to be an animal yet so polite. He ran 10 miles a day. Once a Monday, follow me, here's what they say. Here he comes, he's the man on the land. Leatherman, smile on his face, action his baggage. Leatherman. Shake his hand, he's Leatherman. Take some bread, he's Leatherman. Shake his dad, I saw his bed. It's all that's left of Leatherman. Give me some skin, he's Leatherman. I were a new trombone and I would never go on. I wish I were a sacrifice, but somehow still lived on. I wish I were a sentimental ornament that you hung on. Yeah, Christmas tree, I wish I was the star that went on top. Wish I was the evidence. I wish I were the time. All of your hands up raised and open towards the sky. Let us This is for these guys. I wish I were a sailor with someone who waited for me. I wish I was as fortunate with our Navy. I wish I was the messenger. All the news was good. I wish I were a full moon shining off your Camaro's hood. Were the souvenir you kept left your house key on. I wish I was a pillow that you depended on. I wish I would have learned to trust it. I never let you down. We introduce you to Mr. Stone Gossett here on the guitar. I'm thinking about back in the day when we were, I looked, the date, it said April 23rd, 1992. It was our first or second time ever playing in Florida. Do you remember that? Somebody says they were there. You were there? Did you look exactly the same as you do now? Absolutely. Yeah, I don't recognize you. I could picture you with maybe longer hair, slightly taller. It was a long time ago. But I remember this is back, we're traveling in a van, 6 or 7 of us, and we drove through the night, and then remember because Jeff and I used to share a room, and Mike and Stone used to share a room. Yeah. And that's why we had to separate them when it came to playing on stage. We had to separate them, put them on either side. But I remember getting to the room, and it was kind of this old Art Deco-y, kind of old-fashioned hotel. It wasn't an expensive one, and maybe hadn't been cleaned in, I'd say, maybe a week or 10 days. But we were happy to be near the water, and then I dropped my bag, and I went out to the beach by myself, and I was reading the book Post Office by Charles Bukowski. And I was a bit tired, not really sleeping through the night, and I passed out and woke up a couple hours later, resembling a piece of, what would you call it, crispy bacon. That's what you would call it. And it was the Cameo Theater in Miami. Is that still there? And then it had this little overhang. It wasn't that many people. It was probably like that little group right here. Say, oh, you were there too? I believe it. So anyways, I climbed up this thing and then jumped off. And the feeling, this is why I remember, the feeling of like 260 hands scraping your sunburned back. It's very memorable. And so that feeling, it sounded, and it felt like this song. What the fuck is this world? What to you did? Leave a message inside. Calling your voice one last time. Daily my feeling is good. Be my time by you. Would you hit me? Would you hit me? I'm bearing home, and the cross I'm bearing home, indicative of my There's some good-looking, handsome people out there. Hey, hey! Oh, you still got time tonight? Do you mind if I have another sip of wine before I continue here? Everybody's good up top. Everybody good up top. Everybody good in the middle. All right. Some of you might be coming on Saturday, but for those who can't, we're just gonna keep on playing tonight. I hope you don't mind. And I realized that I looked up and saw myself on the screen, and I didn't realize that I looked so much like Jimmy Buffett tonight. Well, this is a good place for that. Much love to Mr. Buffett. We got to meet him a few times. He was a really, really nice, great, cool. He really lived. But this is a song by my favorite Floridian of all time. And I only take this guitar out on special occasions, you see. But knowing that that we were all coming down to Florida, I took it with me. And this guitar, this was given to me by our friend Tom Petty. And even though he may be gone, he feels like he's here when we sing along. Well, I won't back down, I won't back down. You can stare me up at the gates of hell, but I'll stand my ground and I won't back down. No, I will stand my ground. I won't be turned around, and I'll keep this world from dragging me down. I'll stand my ground and I won't back down. Hey, baby, there ain't no easy way out. Hey, I'll stand my ground and I won't back down. Well, I know what's right. Oh, I got just one life. In a world that keeps on pushing me around, I'll stand my ground and I won't back down. Everybody with me, please. Hey, baby, hey, I'll stand my ground when I hold back down. One more now. Hey, baby. my ground, that I won't back down. Oh no, I won't back down. No, I won't back down. Thank you. Thanks, Florida. Thank you, Tom. As the guys come up on stage, this next song was a request. I got a note about a guy named Chris and about a guy named Mike. Mike wrote us the letter and he talked about a rough condition. He had some inflammation. It was in his brain. It was in his spinal cord. He was in a coma for months. It looked like he wasn't going to make it. Odds were he wasn't going to make it. He was not expected to live. It took him months, but he came out of it. It took him months on a ventilator, but he got off of that. He's had a hell of a journey. And last summer, his friends called him up and they said, "Hey, Mike, we're taking you to Fenway Park this summer. You got to get better. We're taking you to Fenway Park." And then when the time came, he still wasn't in a position to be moved. That's the sad part of the story. The good part of the story is that he's here tonight with his friend Chris. So Mike, wherever you are out there, we're glad you fucking made it. And you probably worked harder than anybody else here in order to do so. For that, we celebrate you. For Chris and Mike. About reaching you, oh, I won't be home. Yeah, don't even think about stopping by. Don't think of me at all. About getting inside the voices in my head. Ooh, voices. Oh, I got scratches all over my arms. Yeah, one for each day since I fell apart. Oh, join me. Once again, Mr. Stone Gossett on the people of your same makeup, your tribe, and you like them well enough to think, do you guys want to start a band? I would recommend it to anybody who's looking for a tribe, looking for a way to express themselves and communicate. I would recommend starting a band, just for fun, just to feel the power. So that's one thing, just to have some fun. But can I just say, to have been given the opportunity to be a group together for 34 fucking years, and to be supported by you all, and people like you all, and people like you all over the planet that have let us hopscotch all over the world just to play our music, and you've made friendships up here that we couldn't have had without you. We just want to say to you and to Chris and the Seminole tribe who invited us here tonight, we just cannot thank you enough for the support you've given us over all these years. And we don't know when we'll get to play again, so we just want to thank you while we can. The price you pay for your riches and fame, strange game, you're a little insane. The money that oblique came, don't forget what you are. You're a rock and roll star. La 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 la. Normally we wouldn't play this one right now, but this is a request from somebody named Mordecai. Blame him. And it's also, I'll dedicate to this guy who looks like he's about 6'7", but he says it's his 21st birthday. I don't believe him. But happy birthday, you old man. Mordecai, everybody, birthday girl. All right, this is for anybody who's got a birthday or an anniversary or a sore knee or whatever you want. Or request. Drinks on me. She lived on a curve in the road, in an old tar paper shack, on the south side of the town, on the wrong side of the tracks. Found her way in the town, we'd say, Mother, can we stop and give her a ride? Sometimes we did, but her hands flew from her side, while I crazy Mary. Down along the road, past the Parsons place, the old blue car we used to race, a little country store with a sign sign congregated quite a crowd. Take a bow, dig it down, pass it around. Take a bottle, dig it down, pass it around. The bottle, take it down, pass it, pass it there, pass it there. One night the thunder cracked, Mercy backed outside a windowsill. I dreamed I was flying high above the tree, over the hills. Looked around into the house of Mary. Bare bones spawn, newspaper would cover walls, and Mary rising up above it all. Come on, Maddox. Lightning boy. Next morning on the way into town, saw some skid marks and followed them around. Over the curb, through the fields. Give us just 1 second, sorry, this is what we do. Just keep, you just a little quiet. She's good. It gets hot down here in Florida. It gets hot down here in the pit. All right, where were we? She gives a thumbs up. If she's feeling better in like 15 minutes, I'll give her some wine to back up the water. That what you feel? That what you feel the most could meet you halfway. That what you feel the most, oh, it might meet you halfway. Think about it, dig it down, pass it around. Think about it, take me down. Take a bottom, take me down, pass it, pass it here, pass it here. said, "Yeah, I got a little story for you. Oh, what you thought was your father was nothing but while we were sitting home alone at age 13. Oh, your real father was dying. Sorry you didn't see him, but I'm glad we talked. Oh, I'm still alive. Yeah, I'm still alive. Yeah, I'm still alive. Yeah, oh, she walks slowly across the young man's room. Oh, she said, "I'm ready for you." I can't remember anything but this very day. Oh, except the Lord, the Lord. Oh, you don't hate, yeah. Now I can see you. Oh, I just stay right. I'm still alive. Hey, I'm still alive. Hey, I'm still alive. Hey, I'm still alive. Hey, ooh, yeah. Yeah, yeah. There's something wrong, she said. You're still alive, she said. Oh, but do I deserve to be here? And is that the question? Oh, and if so, who is that? I'm still alive. Yeah, I'm still alive. Yeah, I'm still alive. Josh Klinghoffer, our MVP. What an honor. You know the flight? Oh, I see. You know, I don't think there's a longer flight in the continental United States than the flight of Seattle to Fort Lauderdale. On behalf of the group, all our crew, because we want to thank the crew to the building, all the great people that invited us, the best man in the world, our friend Chris right there and his folks, his tribe. You have made that longest of trips so fucking worth it, I can't even tell you. We are so grateful to everyone. Thank you so much. Mike McCready. Again, Josh Klinghoffer. Mr. Jeff Amon. Mr. Stone Gossett. Mr. Boone Gaspar. You call me Ed. And the great Mr. Matt Cameron. Till next time, we love you. Take care of each other. Take care of this country. We need it. Thank you. us not fade. Let us not fade. Let us not fade. Thank you. Good night. Much love.